Welcome to Simplified Reads. Today we've gathered every single fiction and nonfiction book released this August 2025 from Amazon to Goodreads, so you never miss your next great read. Incatabasis by R. F. Kuang. The plot plunges into a descent both literal and psychological, weaving layers of mythic symbolism with modern political undertones. Kuang's storytelling is tightly structured, each chapter building the tension as the protagonist journeys deeper into dangerous and morally ambiguous territory. The characters are sharply defined, morally complex, and evolve in ways that feel earned, particularly as their relationships are tested under extreme pressure. The writing style is lyrical yet razor-sharp, blending the grand sweep of epic fantasy with the pointed commentary of literary fiction. Themes of sacrifice, identity, and the cost of ambition are handled with nuance, leaving a lingering emotional resonance. The pacing is deliberate but never stagnant, matching the weight of the story, and the ending delivers a gut punch while tying together thematic threads. Fans praise its depth and emotional gravity, while some find its density demanding. But for readers willing to sink in, it's a powerful experience. In We Are All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter, the narrative hooks you immediately with its tense, multi-threaded crime plot, unspooling with Slaughter's trademark precision. The story structure is tight, balancing present action with layered backstory, keeping the reader in a constant state of unease. Characters are morally layered, their flaws and strengths equally visible, and the emotional arcs feel authentic. The prose is clear, direct, and atmospheric, creating a sense of immediacy that enhances the suspense. Themes of justice, truth, and moral compromise give the thriller more weight than just its twists, though the twists themselves are plentiful and satisfyingly sharp. The pacing rarely falters, and the final act delivers both surprise and inevitability. While some critics feel the violence is unflinching to the point of discomfort, others praise its realism and refusal to look away. In People Like Us by Jason Mott, the plot moves with a quiet intensity, blending deeply personal human drama with undercurrents of social critique. Mott's structure unfolds like a mosaic, small, intimate scenes that gradually reveal a larger, more intricate picture. Characters are vivid and real, each carrying the scars of their histories, and their growth feels both painful and hopeful. The prose is tender yet unsparing, capturing emotional truths in understated moments. Themes of belonging, identity, and shared humanity run through the narrative, making it as much a reflection as a story. The pacing is steady and contemplative, occasionally pausing to let emotions breathe. Readers often describe the ending as bittersweet but deeply satisfying. While some may wish for more overt plot momentum, others find its emotional subtlety the point of its power. And I Know How This Ends by Holly Smale. The story is a sharp mix of wit, melancholy, and emotional revelation, structured in a way that keeps readers second-guessing their assumptions. Smale crafts characters who feel both charmingly flawed and deeply relatable, allowing them to grow in unpredictable yet believable directions. Her writing style blends humor with poignancy, creating a tonal balance that keeps the book from tipping too far into either cynicism or sentimentality. Themes of fate, personal agency, and the messiness of relationships are woven into the narrative with subtlety. The pacing is brisk but allows for reflective moments, and the conclusion ties together emotional threads without being overly neat. Readers appreciate its originality and voice, though some find its shifts in tone jarring. Forget Me Not by Stacey Willingham grips from the start with a premise steeped in mystery and emotional stakes. The plot is intricately crafted, moving between present investigation and past secrets, each revelation deepening the tension. Willingham's characters are layered with hidden motivations, and their interactions crackle with both warmth and suspicion. Her prose is clean and immersive, making even small moments pulse with unease. Themes of memory, trust, and the fragility of truth permeate the story, adding depth beyond the whodunit. The pacing is tight, the suspense escalating in controlled bursts, leading to a climax that delivers both shock and emotional weight. Some readers find its twists perfectly placed, while others feel the resolution arrives a touch too neatly. L.A. Women by Ella Berman unfolds against the backdrop of Hollywood's glitter and shadows, telling a story that balances glamour with the grit underneath. The plot is layered, intertwining the rise and fall of its characters with a nuanced exploration of fame, ambition, and loyalty. Berman's characters are sharply drawn, flawed in ways that make them human, and their development over the course of the novel feels organic. Her writing style is both vivid and intimate, giving the city itself a living presence in the narrative. Themes of identity, betrayal, and the price of reinvention thread through every scene, while the pacing alternates between slow-burning tension and bursts of emotional impact. The ending lands with a reflective, almost bittersweet weight, though some readers may wish for a more explosive finale. In The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk by Carissa Broadbent, the story plunges into high fantasy with a dark romantic twist, blending political intrigue, peril, and passion in equal measure. The plot is rich with shifting alliances and hidden motives, keeping readers engaged as danger and desire collide. Broadbent's characters are fierce yet vulnerable, each shaped by personal loss and ambition, and their arcs interweave with intensity. The prose is lush and evocative, particularly in its descriptions of setting and emotion, giving the fantasy world both depth and atmosphere. Themes of loyalty, power, and moral compromise are explored in ways that give weight to the romance without overshadowing the larger stakes. Pacing is well-balanced, alternating between high-action scenes and quiet, intimate moments. Readers praise its immersive world-building, though some find a romance-heavy focus not to their taste. Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Murr delivers a playful, sharp, and subversive take on fantasy romance, turning the damsel in distress trope upside down. The plot skips along with a sense of mischievous energy, balancing witty banter with genuine stakes. Mayer's characters are wonderfully self-aware yet emotionally grounded, and their development offers both comedic payoff and heartfelt growth. The prose sparkles with humor, but it's the emotional undercurrents that keep the story from being pure parody. Themes of agency, moral ambiguity, and unexpected alliances are woven seamlessly into the hijinks. The pacing is brisk and addictive, making it easy to read in a single sitting, though some readers might wish for deeper world-building. The Dead Husband's Cookbook by Danielle Valentine blends domestic suspense with an unusual narrative hook, using recipes as a framework for unraveling secrets. The plot unfolds with a steady drip of revelations, each chapter peeling back more layers of grief, betrayal, and hidden truths. Valentine's characters are flawed, yet sympathetic, their vulnerabilities as compelling as their secrets. Her prose strikes a balance between elegance and bite, turning mundane domestic details into ominous clues. Themes of control, loss, and the roles we play in relationships run throughout, giving the suspense emotional weight. The pacing is taut without rushing, and the final reveal feels earned while leaving space for interpretation. While many praise its originality, a few find the culinary framing device occasionally distracting from the core mystery. In Seduction Theory by Emily Adrian, the narrative explores power, desire, and moral boundaries through a lens that is both intimate and unsettling. The plot is intricately structured, building tension not through shocks, but through the slow unveiling of character motivations and shifting dynamics. Adrian's characters are complex and morally layered, their relationships charged with both vulnerability and manipulation. The prose is precise and thoughtful, with a psychological acuity that makes even quiet moments hum with tension. Themes of agency, consent, and self-discovery are handled with care, challenging the reader to question assumptions. The pacing favors a slow burn, rewarding patient readers with an emotionally resonant conclusion. Some may find its subtlety frustrating, but others will value its depth and nuance. Moderation by Elaine Castillo is a cerebral, layered work that examines the tug-of-war between ideology and lived experience, inviting readers into a narrative as much about ideas as it is about people. The plot unfolds in deliberate, measured movements, each section peeling back not just events but the philosophical weight behind them. Castillo's characters feel intensely real, shaped by cultural and political forces, yet capable of surprising moments of tenderness and contradiction. Her prose is rich and unapologetically intellectual, yet grounded enough to make its reflections accessible to those willing to sit with them. Themes of community, individual responsibility, and the limits of moral purity permeate the book, giving it both urgency and longevity. The pacing is thoughtful rather than fast, rewarding readers who savor conversation and contemplation. While some may find it demanding, others will relish the challenge and depth it offers. In Loved One by Aisha Maher, humor and poignancy intertwine in a story about grief, family, and the absurdity of life's transitions. The plot balances heartfelt moments with sly comedic beats, moving fluidly between tender vulnerability and sharp observation. Maher's characters are fully dimensional, their flaws and coping mechanisms rendered with empathy, and their arcs feel honest rather than neatly resolved. The prose is crisp and witty, using small details to create emotional resonance. Themes of love, loss, and identity are explored with a light yet meaningful touch, making the story both entertaining and deeply human. The pacing is smooth, never overstaying in one emotional register, and the ending offers a quiet but satisfying sense of closure. Some readers may wish for a deeper dive into its more serious elements, but its blend of levity and sincerity is part of its charm. Dominion by Addie E. Sitchins delivers a tense, historically grounded story that weaves personal struggles into the fabric of systemic injustice. The plot is carefully layered, building from intimate moments to sweeping social implications, creating a sense of both urgency and inevitability. Sitchin's characters are richly drawn, their inner lives and external pressures equally vivid, and their growth feels rooted in the realities of their circumstances. The writing is powerful and unflinching, with a lyrical undercurrent that elevates even the starkest scenes. Themes of resilience, power, and the generational weight of history resonate throughout, challenging readers to confront uncomfortable truths. The pacing maintains steady pressure, ensuring the emotional intensity never fully lets up. Praise often centers on its emotional impact, while criticism occasionally points to its heaviness as demanding sustained focus. In Atomic Hearts by Megan Cummins, the narrative moves with a dreamlike quality, blending sharp realism with moments of surreal imagery. The plot is less a straight line than a constellation, with connections that reveal themselves gradually, rewarding attentive readers. Cummins' characters feel both intimate and slightly mysterious, their emotions authentic but never over-explained, allowing space for interpretation. The prose is elegant and subtly inventive, creating a rhythm that draws you deeper into its world. Themes of connection, isolation, and the delicate threads of memory give the book a quietly powerful undertone. The pacing is reflective, with moments of sudden intensity that jolt the narrative forward. Some readers may long for more conventional structure, but for those open to its artistry, it lingers long after the final page. Full Bloom by Francesca Saratella offers a heartfelt, character-driven exploration of reinvention and self-discovery. The plot moves confidently through both comedic and poignant territory, anchored by relationships that feel lived in and believable. Saratella's characters are warm, flawed, and memorable, each bringing their own charm and contradictions to the page. Her prose is accessible yet layered, able to switch effortlessly between sharp humor and emotional depth. Themes of growth, forgiveness, and the courage to embrace change are woven throughout, giving the story a hopeful momentum. The pacing flows easily, making it a compulsively readable yet emotionally rewarding experience. While some may find it leans more toward comfort than challenge, its optimism and authenticity are undeniable strengths. The Book of Lost Hours by Haley Joel Fuso weaves a tale where time itself feels like a character, drawing readers into a world that blends folklore, mystery, and the ache of unfinished stories. The plot is structured like a puzzle box, each revelation reshaping the understanding of what came before, while still holding back enough to keep the reader leaning forward. Joel Fuso's characters carry an air of quiet melancholy, their desires and fears grounded even when the setting tips toward the fantastical. The prose is lyrical without losing clarity, painting moments of both intimacy and grandeur. Themes of memory, legacy, and the fragility of the present are threaded through the narrative, giving it emotional depth beyond its surface intrigue. The pacing alternates between slow, contemplative beats and sudden surges of momentum, building toward a resolution that feels both satisfying and slightly haunted. Some readers will savor its atmosphere, while others may wish for a quicker unraveling. In Frankly by Nicola Sturgeon, the memoir format allows for a blend of political insight, personal anecdotes, and moments of unexpected vulnerability. The narrative flows with a confident structure, balancing chronological progression with thematic digressions that deepen the reader's understanding of her life and choices. Sturgeon comes across as both candid and strategic, revealing just enough to intrigue while still maintaining a sense of control over the story. Her prose is clear and engaging, with flashes of wit that keep the heavier political content accessible. Themes of leadership, identity, and public perception run throughout, offering a layered portrait that extends beyond the headlines. The pacing keeps momentum by alternating between personal reflection and political turning points, and while some readers may crave more intimate detail, others will appreciate the memoir's measured transparency. The Locked Ward by Sarah Pekkanen delivers a tense psychological thriller set within the claustrophobic confines of a psychiatric facility. The plot wastes no time in establishing stakes, then tightens them with each chapter, creating a constant sense of unease. Pekkanen's characters are sharply observed, their personalities refracted through layers of mistrust and conflicting accounts, keeping both protagonist and reader guessing. The prose is clean and propulsive, with descriptions that heighten the sense of entrapment. Themes of truth, perception, and institutional power are woven throughout, adding substance to the suspense. The pacing is brisk, leading to a climax that's both surprising and chilling. While many readers praise its intensity, some feel the resolution leaves lingering questions, though that ambiguity may be part of its staying power. In The Hounding by Zeno Purvis, gothic suspense meets a creeping sense of dread, set against a backdrop that feels as much a predator as any human threat. The plot unfolds with a slow, deliberate tension, each scene revealing another layer of menace. Purvis's characters are sketched with psychological depth, their actions shaped as much by fear as by desire. The prose is atmospheric and textured, capturing the unsettling beauty of its setting while keeping an undercurrent of danger alive. Themes of isolation, obsession, and the pull between flight and confrontation give the story a primal edge. The pacing builds like a gathering storm, culminating in a finale that leaves a chill in its wake. Some readers will be enthralled by its immersive dread, while others may find its slow-burn approach demanding patience. The Devil Reached Toward the Sky by Garrett M. Graff is an ambitious nonfiction narrative that blends investigative depth with the pacing of a political thriller. The plot, rooted in real events, unfolds with careful layering of context, testimony, and revelation, making complex systems both clear and compelling. Graff's portrayal of real-life figures gives them human dimension without sacrificing journalistic rigor. His prose is taut, authoritative, and vivid, particularly when describing pivotal moments. Themes of power, corruption, and the moral choices of leadership drive the book, inviting readers to draw connections to the present day. The pacing keeps a steady forward thrust, ensuring the wealth of detail never overwhelms the narrative drive. While some readers may feel its scope is almost too wide, others will find its comprehensiveness part of its strength. The Island of Last Things by Emma slowly unfolds like a fever dream, set on a mysterious and decaying island where the line between sanctuary and prison blurs with each passing chapter. The plot is steeped in atmosphere, moving between moments of quiet reflection and sudden bursts of peril, creating a rhythm that keeps the reader slightly off balance. Slowly's characters carry both emotional scars and a strange resilience, their motivations often clouded by the island's enigmatic nature. The prose is lush and haunting, with imagery that makes the place feel vividly alive and vaguely menacing. Themes of memory, escape, and the cost of isolation underpin the story, lending it an emotional depth that lingers after the final page. The pacing invites immersion, though some may find its dreamlike structure more meditative than propulsive. In Stories of the True by Priyangvada Ramkumar, translated from Jai Mohan, the collection offers a mosaic of narratives rooted in moral complexity and cultural depth. The structure flows like oral storytelling, each piece standing alone, yet resonating more powerfully in the context of the whole. Characters emerge as archetypes and individuals at once, shaped by forces of faith, duty, and human fallibility. The language, both in original intent and translation, is precise and lyrical, honoring cultural specificity while opening it to universal understanding. Themes of truth, sacrifice, and the blurred line between myth and lived experience echo across the stories. The pacing varies, allowing moments of stillness to carry as much weight as dramatic turns. Readers seeking layered storytelling will find much to ponder, though those craving a singular, driving plot may find it less conventional. Vulture by Phoebe Greenwood is a taut, propulsive work of suspense that pits survival instincts against moral boundaries in a stark, unforgiving environment. The plot builds tension through both external threats and the psychological unraveling of its characters, creating a sense of mounting inevitability. Greenwood's character work is sharp and unsentimental, with personalities that feel honed by hardship rather than softened by it. The prose is lean yet evocative, capturing the physical harshness of the setting without losing sight of the emotional stakes. Themes of predation, scarcity, and human adaptability run through the narrative, adding layers to its thrills. The pacing is relentless, carrying the reader toward an ending that lands like a final, unflinching truth. While some might wish for more moments of quiet reflection, its urgency is part of its appeal. Ruth, a novel by Kate Riley, is an intimate portrait of one woman's internal and external journeys, blending domestic realism with undercurrents of rebellion. The plot is deceptively simple, focusing on personal milestones that carry quiet but seismic shifts in meaning. Riley's characters are tenderly drawn, with emotional arcs that feel authentic even when they resist tidy resolution. Her prose is warm and observant, with a knack for illuminating the beauty in small, overlooked details. Themes of self-definition, love, and the quiet acts of courage we take in everyday life run throughout. The pacing matches the tone, steady and deliberate, allowing space for reflection. For some readers, it may feel understated, but for others, its quiet honesty will resonate deeply. The Cassandra Effect by Holly Smale turns a sharp, speculative lens on foresight and the curse of knowing too much. The plot unfolds with mounting tension as the protagonist grapples with visions that blur the boundary between fate and paranoia. Smale's characterizations are empathetic, grounding the extraordinary premise in emotional realism. The prose balances brisk storytelling with moments of introspection, making the high-concept hook feel grounded and relatable. Themes of destiny, choice, and the burden of knowledge are explored in ways that keep the narrative both thrilling and thought-provoking. The pacing accelerates toward an explosive finale, though some readers may wish for more lingering in the quieter, emotional beats. Lucas Oakley debut, presents a compelling blend of suspense and character study, delivering a story that is as much about inner turmoil as external conflict. The plot twists and turns with skill, maintaining a tight grip on reader interest through unexpected developments and moral ambiguity. Oakley's characters, particularly the protagonist, are richly textured, navigating personal demons and ethical dilemmas that add layers of complexity. The prose is sharp and evocative, capturing mood and tension with economy. Themes of redemption, trust, and the costs of past actions permeate the narrative, giving it emotional weight beyond the thriller surface. The pacing is brisk, keeping the momentum high while allowing moments of introspection. While some might find certain plot elements familiar, the fresh voice and depth of character work set it apart. Image FX prompt: shadowed urban alley, lone figure with hooded jacket, rain-slicked pavement reflecting neon silhouettes, cinematic noir thriller style, black background. Broken Dove by Daniel Francis, though a spring 2026 release, promises a poignant exploration of trauma and healing through a richly emotional narrative. The plot centers on the slow rebuilding of trust and identity after upheaval, unfolding with sensitive pacing and intention. Francis's characters are deeply human, grappling with their pain and hopes in ways that feel raw and authentic. Her prose is immersive and lyrical, evoking atmosphere and inner life with grace. Themes of resilience, forgiveness, and the power of connection are woven tightly throughout, making the story both challenging and ultimately powerful. While readers looking for high drama may find its quiet intensity subtle, those seeking emotional honesty will find it profoundly moving. The Secret Book Society by Madeline Martin invites readers into a charming and mysterious world where literature itself holds secrets. The plot is engaging and cleverly constructed, mixing intrigue with the celebration of books and friendship. Martin's characters are endearing and diverse, with strong bonds that drive much of the narrative's emotional core. The prose is lively and accessible, with moments of wit and warmth that balance the suspense. Themes of loyalty, discovery, and the magic of stories shine through, making it a delightful read for bibliophiles and mystery lovers alike. The pacing is well managed, moving swiftly enough to maintain interest while allowing character moments to breathe. While not overly complex, its charm and heart have garnered positive response. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into some of the most compelling new books hitting the shelves this August. Each title brings its own unique flavor. Whether it's heart-pounding suspense, thoughtful literary exploration, or imaginative fantasy, that's sure to capture your imagination and keep you turning pages. I hope these reviews help you find your next great read and inspire you to explore stories